Last week, these two teams combined for 110 points. The Northwest Knights amassed 441 yards on their way to a 56-35 win over Harrison, the first playoff win in school history. Meanwhile, Loveland racked up big yards and points while holding Vandalia Butler to only 108 yards of total offense in their 54-0 win. It's playoff week 2, Cincinnati Northwest against Loveland next on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel. Round 2 of the regionals brings us to Firebird Stadium in Westchester, where the 4th-seeded Northwest Knights meet the number 1 seed and undefeated Loveland Tigers. Two of the most talented teams in Region 6, two of the most talented teams in all of southwestern Ohio. Tim Bray with Matt Finkus. And Matt, if they score as many points as they did last week, we may be here for a while.
Yeah, two very prolific offenses, like to score, like to get a lot of yards. Whoever's defense can show up tonight and play well is probably going to be the team who's going to move on.
All right, let's look at Region 6 in the brackets and find out how these teams did. And certainly Loveland put up 54 in defeating Vandalia Butler, Northwest 56 in avenging their regular season loss to Harrison. And then, of course, Mount Healthy in the other game advanced by defeating Withrow, and Winton Woods eliminated Kings. And when you think of Northwest, they are one of the teams that, well, for 2 straight weeks, they couldn't buy a win. But then last week, they came away with that huge win. How much do you think, Matt, that helped?
Well, that first playoff win in school history is a huge confidence builder for them. For them to be able to get that gives them the confidence to go out and compete against a Loveland team that's really been on a roll.
Well, Loveland has been a machine offensively, but they've been doing it and putting up like 42 points a game with underclassmen. That's unusual.
Yeah, underclassmen, and it's also unusual when you lose your starting tailback, you can insert a freshman 1,000-yard rusher who's averaging just under 10 yards a carry and just move on without any kind of adversity at all.
Let's take a look at our stars to watch. And first for the Knights, quarterback Corey Roberson is 6'3", a senior, over 2,000 yards of total offense.
Yeah, great kid here. 32 touchdowns. He's had 2 300-yard passing games this year and also rushed for 100 yards multiple times. He's going to be the guy that gets this offense started, and he's got a lot to contend with the Loveland defense, who hasn't allowed a point in the last 3 games.
Yeah, the Tigers, last time anybody scored on them was Walden Hills, and that was in week 8, and they are led by their senior linebacker, Brian Pop.
Yeah, Brian Pop has actually outscored the last 3 teams he's played against because he has 2 returns for a touchdown off interceptions, 55 total tackles. This defense has been tough to contend with, only averaging 6 points, giving up all season long as well.
Electric atmosphere. It's a little chilly, a little bit of rain. Both defenses will be tested tonight, and the one that rises up picks up the tickets to the regional final. Loveland Northwest next on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel.
Back here at the home of the Firebirds, Lakota West High School, just outside of Cincinnati on the north side. The rain has stopped for the moment, and we are about ready for football in this Division II regional semifinal. And Matt, Loveland, boy, they've got a lot at stake, being undefeated in the number 1 seed.
Yeah, undefeated number 1 seed, ranked 2nd in the AP poll in Division II in the state of Ohio. They're the team to beat right here in this region. Obviously, Northwest, first playoff win last week. They're a team that's looking to really make some noise here in the playoffs. A lot of talent, a lot of skill players, great guys on the field, but can they handle this pressure of the relentless Loveland defense that has shut out the last 3 opponents they've played?
Colors for both teams brought to you by Alarm Force, as the dark uniforms are the Loveland Tigers and the Knights are in white. Kyle Christoph has it teed up at the 40-yard line, and it is Gunnar Gamble back deep to receive the kick. He's standing about the 5, and we are underway in this regional semifinal, and it goes over the head of Gamble and into the end zone, and that is a touchback, and Loveland will get the football first. The Tigers lost the coin toss. Northwest won and deferred to the second half, and they will be led out onto the field. The Tigers will, by Drew Plitt. who is a sophomore, and he is one of the more talented young players in all of Southwestern Ohio, and he will be the quarterback. And the first play from scrimmage tonight comes from the 20-yard line. They'll split the backs, and they will reverse the football, and coming to the near side are the Tigers, and they get big yardage right away. Drew Plitt will get out of bounds, and that will be a first down all the way to the 43-yard line.
Well, that was some interesting play action to that side. They faked basically the buck sweep there and gave it to the second man through, and he was able to get around the corner, make a big play, and get him about 23 yards on first down.
Well, 23 big yards, and they'll go to the near sideline again, and picking his way is Luke Waddell, and the freshman will pick up another first down. The offense of this Loveland Tiger team is on fire to start this one.
Yeah, absolutely. They are ready to go here, running at a fast pace. They want to get these backs involved and get them carries. Get this Northwest defense on its heels and really moving down the field. Love to run the ball, love to run it downhill. They get to the edge, take that step, and get vertical and really challenge your defense.
Northwest giving up 17 points per game and just 262. And this time they come up and they stop Gunnar Gamble after a short drive, or a short carry. The defensive starters as a front four, and it's a basic 4-3 for Northwest, coached by Nate Mahan. And the corners and the safeties are pretty strong. They've got 2 seniors and 2 juniors in the defensive secondary for the Knights. Second down, they'll go near side, and Waddle slipped on the field at the 39-yard line and was covered right there. So Luke Waddle, just a freshman and over 1,000 yards rushing. He stepped in after week number 8, and they haven't missed a beat.
No, he's averaging 9.9 yards a carry right now, 1,000-yard rusher on only 106 carries. He has been a pleasant surprise for this team and has really been able to carry them with the loss of Nate Schlegel in week 8.
So they'll split a wide receiver to the near sideline. That's the short side of the field. And Plitt's going to throw. He's looking for Gamble. He's covered, and Plitt's going to have to run it himself, and he's going to be short of the first down. Northwest has stopped the Tigers after those 2 big sticks early on, those 2 big runs, and after that, the Knights were right there.
Yeah, they were able to stop him there and put him in a 3rd and long situation. They absolutely, that's not their forte. They want to run the football. They want to be in 3rd and short, but a 3rd and 5 here from the 32-yard line. Can't kick the field goal, don't want to punt. You might not gain that much. They're going to go for it here early in the game. A big play waiting to happen by somebody.
Ricci comes in, and it's man coverage for the Knights here, and they'll split the backs. Plitt's going to come to the near sideline, and he's going to throw his first patch. He gets Ricci, and that's a first down. He came all the way across from the short side of the field and made the catch.
Yeah, this is what they just call a waggle pass, and so they're trying to get the run action going to the opposite way. The quarterback rolls out. The tight end or slot back drags all the way across the field at about a 5-yard depth, able to hit him in stride. First down, big play on 4th down there to keep this drive moving for the Loveland Tigers.
So they take it on 4th down and make it, and it's first down from the 25-yard line. They'll go on the reverse again, and they will cut it back inside. And this is Hesse, and he is going to score. Loveland dents the end zone. The Tigers take a 6-0 lead on Alex Hesse's touchdown.
That was a phenomenal play. I'll tell you what, Northwest had about 8 guys in the backfield there. It looked like they were going to get Hesse for a 5 or 6 yard loss. Somehow no one gets a hand on him. He's able to break 3, make a couple guys miss, cut all the way back across the formation, get in for a touchdown. Just a great individual effort there by Hesse.
Evan Berg is going to attempt the extra point. So it is 6-0 with 8:53 to play in the first quarter. And Loveland, who is 11-0, are showing great speed and aggressiveness. The left foot kicker puts it through, and It's 7-0 Loveland. What a quick turn of events. 3 big plays on that drive.
Yeah, 3 big plays. They had a couple of one negative yard play and a big 4th down conversion. I'll tell you what, this offense came out firing on all cylinders and looked really, really good.
So the Loveland Tigers, who have no blemishes on that record so far. They won the Eastern Cincinnati Conference, and you say, what's the Eastern Cincinnati Conference? Well, that was part of the old Fort Ancient Valley Conference.
Yep.
That's your Andersons and Turpins, who have both been in the playoffs before.
Absolutely.
It's a strong conference, and Loveland has just taken this thing by a storm. And their fans, they brought 5 buses of students here to Westchester tonight.
Well, we saw them all shuffling in there, the student section ready to go. They got the Tiger mascot on the sidelines ready to work as well. So Loveland came ready to play tonight. I mean, they are an 11-0 team. They're not taking anything for granted. A lot of times you might take your opponent for granted when you come out in this situation when you're the heavy favorite, but they're not doing that right now. They are absolutely ready to rock and roll this evening.
Well, and they have this brotherhood going, and I'm telling you, they are a tight-knit bunch, and Loveland, the whole community is behind this team, and it's great to see. So it's Evan Vernig teeing it up on the 40-yard line, and he will boot it away, and the Knights will get the football for the first time in the football game on the offensive side of the ledger.
I have to tell you, kind of important here for Northwest. You're a team with not a lot of playoff experience. Could be a crucial thing there for them to answer in this drive.
They don't want to kick it to Devin Johnson, and they will kick it short, and that's a good return all the way out to the 47-yard line. And the Knights are in business after Devin Schur brings it out about 20 yards.
This is going to be a real test for both these squads here. They're going to be able to see how this Loveland defense responds. They haven't allowed a touchdown the last 3 games. Northwest is coming in a pretty explosive offense, a lot of playmakers, and we'll see who's going to win this battle here tonight.
Corey Roberson, the senior quarterback, is at the controls, 6'3". He'll put a man in motion from the 47-yard line, and we have a whistle.
Well, this is what you don't want to see. Obviously, if you're the Northwest coaching staff, going up against a defense who
dead ball foul,
very staunch. You don't want to give them any more information. Oh, actually going the other way, so this helps out.
Remains first down.
So our official gives us the call. And out to the 48 now. This is in Loveland territory. They show blitz from the short side of the field and put a man in motion, and Roberson out of the shotgun, and he loves to throw it, and he's going to throw it deep, and it is incomplete. First pass of the ball game goes to Shane Baldwin.
Well, kind of feel emboldened there. You got 5 free yards on first down. Take a shot down the field. Why not? They actually had a step there. Baldwin was behind the coverage, just not able to connect early on in this game.
Nate Mahan is in his first year as the head coach of the Northwest Knights, and it's 2nd down and 5. They bring Tristan Snow to the near side in the slot. And they'll put him in motion now from right to left across the line of scrimmage. They'll run it up the middle, and it is a first down, and that is a hard run by Willie Robertson, who took it all the way to the 42-yard line.
Yeah, just a simple inside trap here. I'll tell you what's amazing is Justin Berquist, the center for Northwest, only 193 pounds.
Yeah, here's your defensive line and linebackers for the Tigers. Mike Weber in the middle of that defense. And here is your secondary. Bo New on the outside along with Jeff Priffy. First and 10 from the 42. It's 7-0 Loveland. And another whistle.
You might get a delay a game call here.
It is delay a game on the Knights. So this is their first penalty of the football game, one against Loveland. So boy, you do not want to work behind the chains against a team that's only given up 172 total yards.
No, absolutely not. And this Loveland defense is aggressive. Make no mistake about it. They thrive on negative plays. They walk their linebackers up always at the threat of blitz. They're coming after you.
An aggressive style for the Tigers on both sides of the ball. Roberson will tuck it and run. Has a little bit of room and gets out of bounds at about the 37-yard line. Now, Roberson is a running quarterback. He can throw it, averages about 64.4% of his throws. As you look at just a packed house here at Westchester's Firebird Stadium. But Roberson on the season has 574 total yards as you look at it again.
Yeah, absolutely. Able to break contain there, make one guy miss with a ball fake and get out of bounds and give him a 3rd and 5 situation.
From the 35-yard line, Roberson going to throw it again, and this time it's incomplete. And Nate Mahan wants a flag because of a push in the back, and he might be right.
Yeah, tight coverage there, and just trying to do a little bit of hook at the chains, going back just a yard pass and coming back. And Jeff Prifty was kind of all over him. Had a little hands in the back there. Surprised that wasn't called. Gives him a 3rd and 5.
So 3rd down and 5 from the 36-yard line. Northwest comes in at 9-2. They finished 5-2 in the Southwestern Ohio Conference. That's Mount Healthy, who's still in the tournament, and also Harrison, who they finally beat. The deep ball wasn't there. Roberson still going for it, and it is incomplete and a flag. They tried to get the ball to Snow right at the 4-yard line, and a flag comes out.
Well, that's a tough call, but I think it's the right one there. The defensive back never turned around to try to find the ball, and when you don't turn around and try to locate the ball, Tanner Griffin was in coverage there. If you don't turn around and try to locate the ball, you're always going to get called if there's any kind of contact.
So it'll be a foul that is marked off from the line of scrimmage. That's the play in high school. Here's the pass
you see Tanner
interference.
Griffin there kind of turn at the very last second, but when you're not playing the ball, that referee has that carte blanche to kind of throw that on you. When the offensive guy's going for it and you're just playing the man, they're going to call you most of the time when there's contact.
So it's 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line after the 15-yard penalty. Roberson near sideline, and that one sailed on him. Incomplete, and he tried to get to Shane Baldwin, the junior wide receiver.
Well, I don't know if Shane Baldwin was going to get much on that anyway. Incomplete might have been the way to go there. Loveland defense really stepped up. They had that covered pretty well. Brian Pop was right there in the coverage and ready to make the tackle. So Roberson not very accurate here to start the game off. He's going to have to get settled down.
Well, here's a guy that completes over 64% of his throws. And that's what they do. They throw it all over the yard. The quarterback has it. Roberson's got a 1st down. What a great fake to Tristan Snow. The linebacker came out and took him completely out of it, but he didn't have the ball. Yeah,
great read there by Roberson, who's able to make a cut on the inside, avoid pop, and then lower his shoulder, lower the boom, and get some extra yards and get across that first down mark.
Max Mather was hanging on, because if he had not have, Roberson had enough steam that he may have taken it all the way into the end zone. Well, both these teams love to score. First series of the game for Northwest. Short side of the field, and out of bounds inside the 10 is the ball carrier Jackson. Devon Jackson takes it all the way to the 4-yard line. They may have given him the 3 across the way.
Well, they run the jet sweep this time. Roberson hands it off, and Jackson's able to get around the corner and just work that sideline and able to get up there for 6 yards and put him in a 2nd and 4 situation in the goal line.
Fred Cranford, the first-year head coach of the Loveland Tigers, came from Bishop Fenwick High School, and man, has he done a terrific job. Trips near side and the wide side. Jackson in motion, and Roberson is going to stand up and score. Corey Roberson gets on the board for the Knights of Northwest.
I'll tell you what, this zone read or this jet read is really working well. They've run it 3 plays in a row. Roberson has kept it twice and handed it once. And right now, Loveland's going to have to get on the sideline and make some adjustments on defense to stop that play.
Roberson with a 3-yard run. And Kristoff has an opportunity here to tie it up. Nate Mahan very happy with what he saw out of the first possession for the Knights.
Roberson, I'll tell you what, physically imposing when he's running the football. It's pretty impressive. He's struggling throwing the ball right now, just hasn't found his rhythm. But running the football, he has been an absolute force. You see again here the fake handoff and just a big hole up the middle, and Roberson just big and imposing, running through arm tackles and getting into the end zone for a touchdown.
Well, they're not small across that line for a Division II team. I mean, Clark's 312. It's 233 on the other guard, so they've got some size.
They do. The one kind of odd man out is the center there, only 193 pounds, but he's the quarterback of that line, calling the fronts, calling the blocking schemes, and making that snap and read and just getting into a hip and driving.
So the Knights, who have done a great job so far in containing Loveland. I mean, they could have scored on 2 of those big plays in that first drive, and they did a good job of containing Loveland. Now the Tigers eventually scored on an excellent play. Evan Deaver is back deep, and you see the scoring drive, 9 plays and 53 yards on the 3-yard run.
Helped out by a pass interference call there, but playoff football, you got to play mistake-free. You can't give the referee an excuse to throw that flag.
Line drive to Deaver. Up the middle and launches himself to the 28-yard line, and that's where the Tigers will get it 1st and 10.
Well, Deaver, a little kamikaze move there, running up the middle and then diving for an extra 3 or 4 yards. One of the backup receivers, but he gets his chances on kickoff returns, and he really goes after it. You see him here make one cut up field and then launching himself over the pile and getting an extra 3 or 4 yards. A great effort by Deaver.
I'm sure he was a long jumper, too. Inside handoff. That's Waddell out to about the 35-yard line. Gain of 7 on 1st down. I think Fred Cranfield would have that all day long.
Yeah, I think so. Actually holding Waddell under his average there, 7-yard carry. But this Loveland offense, they run the football extremely well. Just so many backs. They run this wing tee, or a version of this wing tee, very well. As a defense, you have to read your keys. You can't watch where the running backs are going. You have to watch where your offensive linemen are going.
Again, you're good.
And once again, they will get into the secondary. And down the sidelines goes Waddle. And he is open, and he is going to score. Touchdown. 65 yards. What a play.
I'll tell you what, you don't see many freshmen making plays like that at a high level as you do with Waddell right there. That is absolutely impressive. And again, just as I was talking about, reading your keys, every one of the Northwest linebackers go with the run fake to the left side. They run it back with the counter. You have 2 pulling linemen out in front, and Waddell does the rest, makes a nice cut back downfield, and able to get in the end zone for a touchdown, and Loveland right back on top.
Wow, 65 yards. And they don't quit. I mean, they just keep coming.
You're right. We might be here all night.
I'm telling you what, this has been end-to-end football. The extra point by Burrig is good, and it is 14-7 now with 6:22 to go in the first quarter. Loveland back out on top after the 65-yard run. Look at it.
Yeah, you see Waddell right there make a couple great cuts, make some linebackers miss in the hole. Good blocks up front there, and then right here makes a guy miss in the hole, and then he's off to the races. Great job blocking downfield. They've got some guys running downfield. Alex Hesse, who scored the first touchdown, threw a big block downfield to spring him in for the touchdown.
Well, we talked about the Knights offensive line. Loveland's got a bigger offensive line. They go 280, 295, 200, 275, and 245 across the front line.
Well, and you saw those big guys moving. You saw Ian Lever really get out in front and throw a nice block. Really good job by those guys moving their feet, lining up the linebackers, getting a kick-out block, turning up, and getting to the second level as well. They do that all night. It's going to be a long night for this Northwest defense. Those guys have to start reading their keys and getting into the holes.
So Devon Johnson is back deep. Loveland has had the football twice. They have scored twice. And they will beat it on the ground again. And this time another up man will pick it up, and Loveland does a much better job of pursuing and bringing down the ball carrier across the way, and that is Robertson, Willie Robertson, with the kickoff return for the Knights.
Well, Northwest did a great job of answering on that first. When you're in your second ever playoff game, team runs down, scores a touchdown, you're able to go down and answer. Now they came right back and scored another one. Can you answer again? Big question here. Can Roberson get on track throwing the football? He's been able to run the ball very effectively, but is he going to be able to get on track throwing the football as well?
From the 36-yard line, and get this, the Tigers have run 8 plays and have 14 points.
That's not a bad ratio.
No, it's not. Robertson in motion. Roberson to throw, out pass, and it's complete. First completion of the ball game for the Knights quarterback, and it goes to Tristan Snow, and he's close to a first down, and they will give it to him out to the 47.
Well, that is a great throw by Roberson. He's able to come in, put it just where it needs to be. Pop tries to make a play on it here and undercut it, and just out of fingertip reach. Good job getting upfield and getting the first down.
Well, I think Coach Mahan knows he's got a little bit of a matchup issue there, and here comes Roberts across the way, and he will run that jet sweep and get another first down.
I think so. You saw a lot of man coverage here right now out of Loveland because they like to be aggressive. I don't know if they can match up with the speed of Northwest on the perimeter here. These guys and these slot running backs are really, really quick, and they can move well in space. You saw Brian Pop, who's had a good season so far, 2 interceptions returned for a touchdown, but just not able to make a play there in man coverage.
Trips again, and Robertson is going to go in motion from the slot, and Robertson comes to the near sideline. It's complete again. Broke a tackle, and that's Snow, and he is good for another Knights first down.
Well, again, they just run the clear out on the side, and Tristan Snow runs a simple in and out route there. Robertson now starting to feel that rhythm and hit these guys in stride. Could be dangerous here for Loveland. They're trying to change up coverage. They went with the zone there, but still not effective enough to stop Tristan Snow from getting a first down.
5 different receivers have caught more than 10 passes this season for this club. Robertson in motion, and this will be the quarterback draw, and Robertson is not going to get back to the line of scrimmage. If he did, it was barely to the line. Tigers all over him. That front 4 doing a good job, and it was Brian Pop, the linebacker, who found a little seam in the A-gap and made a great cut to make that tackle.
Yeah, obviously, I like to bring pressure. Brought Brian Pop that time. Had dropped him in coverage the last couple of times, but decided to bring him there and was able to get there. And Roberson's still able to get a couple inches anyway to avoid the sack.
I think they gave him 1. That's it. Here's a quick timing route, and it's complete. First catch by Darius Johnson.